everyone, and welcome to Tween Time with Miss Amanda. Today we're going to be making one craft, but multiple ways. This way you could do this craft based on what craft supplies you have at home right now. So one way we can do it, as shown here, is with washi tape. This way here is with watercolor paint, and we've got this way with magazine scraps, and this way just using color pencils. One of the first things you want to do is select what you're working with based on what you have at your house. If you're using washi tape, if you happen to have it, I suggest using that. It's really easy to work with. Or you could work with scraps of magazines. I highly recommend finding at least 3 or 4 different pages to cut up. So, watercolors is also really good because they dry quickly. And then of course you could always go with color pencils or crayons. I do not recommend using markers because those do not blend as well. But color pencils and crayons are good. And of course the other things you will need are paper and some kind of adhesive like glue or tape or Mod Podge. Alright, then you want to either print out on paper like I did, or draw your own picture, and you want to cut it out so you end up with something like this. If you're doing a word, you want to make sure that you're saving these little inserts, but if not, it doesn't matter. And when you do cut out, you kind of want to do this very carefully. If you need a grown-up to, that's okay. So you just want to cut it out the center. You don't want to like overcut. So so you don't want to overcut what you're cutting. So you want to cut from the center. If you go out a little bit, it's okay. Basically, what you don't want to do is you don't want to come in like this and cut. You want to come in from the center, or if you can, use an X-Acto knife, cut the edges. For the first way to do this craft, we are going to use some washi tape. So we are going to make a washi tape bone. Now you take your washi tape and you kind of get an idea of how long you put it out on. If you need, you can take your overlap and just kind of get an idea, make sure you're covering the whole surface. Now I'm doing this on a smaller scale for time purposes, but you could do this on a full sheet of paper if you choose. So washi tape is easy. You can either cut it or tear it. I'm going to use scissors. And you could use as many or as few types of washi tape as you so choose. So once you see that you've covered your entire surface, you are done with your washi tape. If you're worried about using too much, you could also always trace the bone onto your other sheet so you kind of know better where to cover. So now you want to take an adhesive and I'm going to try a glue stick. You want to just put it over, making sure that you are in fact covering your surface. And then if you want to trim off the excess, you can. But there you have a washi tape bone. And as you can see with my bone, I used 2 different washi tapes. But when I made my hearts, I just used 1 washi tape. So like I said, you can use as many or as few washi tapes as you have and choose to use. So I know that everyone will not have washi tape at home, so magazine scraps are another option you could use for this project. Like I said before, I recommend cutting up at least 3 or 4 different ads or pages of a magazine to work on this. So here I did a star, I'm going to make another star. Now I have Mod Podge, which is this lovely product here, so I'm going to use that, but you could use a glue stick if you have, or packing tape, whatever you so choose to use based on your supplies. So with Mod Podge, you want to put like a layer down of Mod Podge and throw on your strips. Then you want to take some more Mod Podge and go over it. Your other strips. And then once you're done, you've got your Mod Podge star. Oops. And like I said, you can always cut off the edges. So another option is watercolor paint. If you have acrylic or tempera paint or some other type of washable paint, you could use that as well. I would just either back your computer paper to like something like cardboard, or I would use something sturdier to paint on. I like watercolors, I like the way they blend. I also happen to have watercolor paper, so I'm using that, but you can use regular computer paper. I'm just gonna pick some colors and paint my surface. Okay, so as you can see, it fills up my reed. So I'm going to stop painting and give it a moment to let it dry. And when your paint is dry, you want to be able to put the words over it. I'm using Mod Podging just because I have it. It's easy to work with. Glue sticks will work fine. It's whatever works for you. So I'm just going to kind of cover around the letters here. And put it on. And just kind of seal. Oops. Okay, so as you can see, my ink actually wasn't as dry as I thought, so the paint kind of changed the color around it a little. But as I said, you kind of make sure you saved these little guys. You can put them into what you are doing and just Mod Podge or glue them down. Like I said, you want to make sure that it's dry. I goofed with this one. With my example, I waited long enough. But there you have your watercolor version. So now you may not have had washi tape, you may not have had paint, you may not have had magazine scraps that you felt comfortable gluing down. But there's a good chance you have crayons or color pencils, so that's what I'm going to show you next. And we are going to make some hearts this time. If you are aware of the Rainbows project, I'm going to do some rainbow hearts in honor of that. So I'm going to take my red and color just across my paper. I'm going to go with my orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. You can see I kind of missed, so I'm just going to go back over and the other side. Voila, some rainbow hearts. So I'm going to take my glue, cut off the excess, and there we have our colored version. So like I said, you could use any kind of craft supplies you have at home. These were just some examples that I selected. The most important thing you want to remember is that you will need a cutout, some cutout shapes or designs to adhere over whatever you are working with. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tween Time with Miss Amanda. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down in the comments. I will answer them. Also, if you make a creation, post on social media, hashtag it Tween Time with Miss Amanda, because we would love to see what you create. See you next time.